I have super confidence in the model, to be honest. I have skin in the game. I staked a lot of money on the model. I'm not only publishing it for whatever reason. It's a tool for myself to help me invest in Bitcoin. The volatility is high, and that's how it should be. I mean, you don't get 12 years of 200% plus returns per year without volatility. If it would go up in a straight line, well, everybody would buy it. Everybody would be a millionaire in the short term. So it has to have volatility to shake out the people that don't belong in the space, that the weak hands, like we call them. Yeah, the paper hands or lettuce hands. Hodling is and especially in a high volatility environment is very hard to do. It looks easy, but it's not. If you are able to hodl through a minus 20 or minus 30 dip, which is only one dip, then you already have won a lot. And if you do that like a whole year, then you're probably in the 1% category that deserves to get this high returns as well. And it's a very, there's Nobel Prizes won over this theory that risk and return are related. There's all sorts of very mathematical models made on it. So for me, it's very logical that with the high returns that Bitcoin has, it also has very high volatility. And I love it. It's for me, that's a good thing. Volatility is a great thing. But I guess the fact that is not happening has to do with that volatility that we talked about. So there's the stock-to-flow model that some people believe and others don't. But there is also a lot of risk still out there. And one of the risks, of course, is I do some polls about what are the risks every few months. And the number one is always governments banning Bitcoin, of course, which I think is not a risk at all, but people see that as the biggest risk. Quantum computers also are high up there, which I don't think is a risk at all. There's also hacking, of course. Maybe the NSA made Bitcoin. I don't think that's the case, but maybe they can take over. Yeah, so there's a lot of risk, and certainly there's a lot of volatility. You only have to look at the option markets to see that they price in implied volatilities of 80 to 100%. That's really a lot. So I think that volatility dampens the whatever expectations might be out there based on the stock-to-flow model or not. So no, I don't think we will have a front running of the model or super cycle, if you will, because greed and fear, because risk, because volatility. I dare to interpolate until a stock-to-flow of 100 and a value of 100 trillion. That would be somewhere before 2028. And after that, it's uncharted territory. So I really don't know what's going on there. But if I would guess, it's not a matter of value of Bitcoin and everything going up after 2028, because we value the thing in dollars, right? It's and like we talked before, you could also look at it as the dollar going down. So in fact, what I think is going to happen within the next 5, 6, 7 years is that maybe the dollar will be replaced by something else. Yes, and you see those talks going on right now, right? It could be the SDR that the IMF wants. The Chinese want more power and more say in the reserve currency of the world. So I think the new Bretton Woods system that every central banker is now talking about is going into that direction and would probably align with the stock-to-flow model's time frame of 2024, 2028. For example, the stock-to-flow of Bitcoin will be 100 after 2024 halving, but we don't know what the value will be. And we don't have data of the Bitcoin stock-to-flow 100 and value at that time. But with the stock-to-flow X model, there is an asset in that model that the model is made on, namely real estate, that has a stock-to-flow of 100 and a value of 100 trillion. Within the range of the data that the model is made on, say something about what would be the likely value of Bitcoin when it gets the stock-to-flow of 100. And that interpolation instead of the extrapolation gives me a lot, like really a lot more confidence in the stock-to-flow X model. I have super confidence in the model, to be honest. I have skin in the game. I staked a lot of money on the model. not so I'm not only publishing it for whatever reason. It's a tool for myself to help me invest in Bitcoin, and I am aware that of course I can make mistakes and miss things, and there could be better models, etc. So I would encourage critics, encourage discussion, and encourage new models.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Actually, one of the reasons I put it out there was to activate a whole group of quants that I consider myself a quant too, but more quantitatively oriented traditional finance folks to think about this Bitcoin, to read the Bitcoin standard, like you said, and the white paper, and do some modeling on whatever they think needs modeling. And if there's something better, publish it and let it be peer reviewed. And I think that's the scientific way, how it should be. So no, if there's a flaw in my model, if there's something wrong, please let me know and come up with a better one, or and I want to be the first to know, right? If I'm wrong, because I have to sell. So, but no, long story short, I have great confidence in my model. In fact, I would be really surprised if this straight line that we saw in the past that we talked about and that is pointing towards gold and real estate, if that would bend down, that would really surprise me.
Just out of curiosity, can you just share something that nobody knows about you?
You can always try, but I have to be very careful with these questions. And I think I already put a little bit too much out there. I'm a sailor. Let's say that's so the most chance of meeting me in person, and by the way, a lot of people meet me in person. You say I'm mysterious. I am on Twitter and internet because I like my privacy. But I met a lot of people that are at the conference in real life. So especially in the investor and old Bitcoiners area. So I met a lot of those people in private, and we talk through Zoom calls like we do today, and they know my face, so they know who I am. I like my privacy. I am a institutional investor, and that's a very small group. Everything we do is under non-disclosure agreements. It's always a lot of money that you work on. The typical deal would be $1 billion, $2 billion. It's a lot of money. It attracts the wrong people.
Sure.
It attracts criminals. It attracts scammers. I see a lot of them on Twitter. I recognize them from a mile's distance, by the way. that's part of the job.
Sure.
And I don't want anything to do with that. So in real life, you can manage that a lot better because you just don't meet, or you meet in a secure environment, or you check people out or something. But on the internet and on Twitter, I think it's just better to be a little bit cautious, and in real life, I can check people out, and I have a security team that does that for me. So it's a lot less risky than on the internet.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar, and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.